What's up, everybody? Welcome to day 3 here on Aussie Horror Week. I am your host, Moodz616, and thank you once again for stopping in. Alrighty, guys, yeah, day 3 is here, and I've got another film here that I pretty much knew absolutely nothing about. I'm going into this one super blind, never seen or heard anything on this one. I came across it once again when I was looking for films to do for this week, and sounded pretty decent, so I decided to go ahead and grab it. And it goes by the title of Hellion, The Devil's Playground. This film is also known as Cubby House in Australia. Yeah, so it was released over here in Region 1 as Hellion, The Devil's Playground. Cubby House is just referring to basically what we know it over here as Playhouse. So it's just another word for Playhouse. Yeah, this film came out in 2001, so it's a little bit, it's a little older, so. But yeah, getting into the plot of this one. It centers around a family. Lynn and her 3 kids. Danny, who is the oldest. Ivan and Natalie, who are the youngest kids. They have just moved back to Australia because Lynn has gone through a real messy divorce with her husband. And so she took her kids, packed up, and moved back to Australia. She was born and raised there and whatnot. I think all 3 of her kids were actually born in the U.S., and so it's their first time in Australia. But anyways, they move over to Australia, and she doesn't really have much money. Like I said, she went through a messy divorce, so she's kind of hurting for cash and stuff. They find a place that they can't beat the price on. The price is definitely right for them. She does kind of figure maybe something is up. Maybe, she's not 100% sure what exactly the deal is with this house, because it is priced really, really low. And of course, there is some issues with the house. I guess 30 years prior, there was some satanic, demonic cult things going on in there. There was a couple kids that were killed or sacrificed and stuff inside this cubby house. And it's basically, the cubby house is now possessed, and the house is possessed and stuff like that. But they are not informed about any of this before they move in. And in fact, the realtor that actually sells them the house is actually in the beginning of the film even talking on the phone saying, that he even lies to whoever he's talking to on the phone. He says, they don't have kids or nothing. I'm selling it just to a mother or just to this woman or whatnot and stuff. Anyway, so they move into this house, and of course things start happening. The oldest son, Danny, he all of a sudden starts having crazy fucking nightmares and stuff. He keeps having visions of being covered in blood and demonic things are happening and stuff. The 2 kids, Natalie and Ivan, they become obsessed with this cubby house. They just can't get enough of it. They're, always playing it and stuff. And then soon the cubby house actually possesses these kids and stuff. And so Danny, starts digging around and poking around and stuff. And he learns the history of the house and tells his mom what had happened and stuff. So she freaks out and shit. And, while Danny's poking around and stuff, he comes across this guy that works in I think he's like a restaurant owner or whatnot. He knows exactly the whole truth behind the house and stuff. Apparently 30 years prior, his brother had something to do with this whole satanic rituals that was going on and stuff. And his brother actually went away for 5 years for, or he went away to jail for life or whatnot. And he himself actually did 5 years for an accomplice to murder and stuff like that. So now the brother is actually trying to stop this family from, living in this house and stuff. And he wants them, to get the fuck out of there before, these kids get fully possessed and they take over what they're trying to do and stuff. So, but yeah, so basically it's just a race against time before the kids fully get possessed and everyone gets taken over and stuff. And so it's up to Danny to try and stop this because the kids have already fallen, victim to the demons that possess this cubby house. So yeah, so that's the plot of the film. Now my thoughts on this one. The storyline is very kind of generic. I mean, we've all seen this type of film before where people move into a house and, it's possessed by demons and people get possessed and then you gotta fucking weed the demons out. It's been done a million times, but this one actually had a pretty decent kind of charm to it. I really did like the characters in the film. I thought one of the most interesting factors in this, or things about this film, was the relationship between the mom and the oldest son, Danny. The way they talked to each other was so bizarre. There's a scene in the film where there's a scene in the film where the mom says something to Danny, you know, go do this or whatever, and he's just like, eat me. He says eat me to his mom. I just thought that was like the most bizarre dialogue for a film. But yeah, you know, overall, it's, you know, the acting's decent in this. I think that all the kids and stuff I think they're Australian-born actors trying to do American accents, and it really wasn't working that well. Like, you could kind of hear the accents coming out and stuff. So that was kind of bugging me throughout the film. But like I said, you know, the storylines, it's been done, it's kind of generic, but it wasn't that bad, actually. You know, I thought it was kind of cool, like how it's not even that slowly paced. It kind of gets into the film right away. Upon arrival to this house, you know, the realtor throws the family a party and stuff, and the neighbors are over and whatnot, and the kids are all playing together in you know, behind the house, near the cubby house and stuff, and, you know, all of a sudden these vines, like, come alive and start grabbing at the kids and shit. I thought that was actually kind of a cool touch to get right into it, because you don't know exactly what's going on, and I thought that was kind of a nice touch, and periodically through the film things happen and stuff. Certain people get hurt and whatnot, so I thought that was kind of cool. You know, the effects in the film are fucking hilarious. So funny. This movie came out in 2001, and I gotta say the effects were so 90s. So fucking 90s. Like, when I'm watching this film, it just felt like it was straight out of 1995. Like, the computer, you know, the computer-generated image. Like, not so much CGI, but it was just, you know, the digital effects that they put into the film, especially with the computers in the film. I laughed so hard at it. It was pretty funny. The whole entire film felt like a 90s film, to be honest. You know, wardrobes, just everything about it felt like a 90s film. With that said, it wasn't the worst thing in the world. You know, it wasn't overly that bad, but I thought the kids actually did a really good job in this film with the acting. I thought they were actually kind of the best part about the movie. They felt genuine. They just seemed like normal kids that were just kind of pulling it off, you know. I really like the aspect of the cubby house being possessed, and you know, they can't destroy the cubby house. There's a scene in the film where the realtor, you know, to make up for, you know, not telling the mom about, you know, the possession in this house and stuff, he decides that, you know, he's going to destroy the cubby house because she wants it destroyed because she doesn't want the kids playing in there. So he takes a chainsaw, he cuts the whole fucking thing up, and then, you know, a couple scenes later, it's, you know, it's fully back together and stuff. So, you know, they got a major fucking problem here. I thought that was kind of a cool premise. You know, the thing has just got a life of its own, and I thought that was kind of interesting. But you know, overall, like I said, it's kind of generic, but you know, it does have a certain type of charm to it that kind of works. It's really just above average, to be honest. The whole end of the film is very kind of silly and kind of over the top, and you know, with the I won't give anything away, but just like the effects and how everything kind of comes about and stuff, it's pretty cheesy. It's pretty cheesy. So. But yeah, if you want to give this one a shot, I would loosely recommend it, you know, just for a quick watch or whatnot, but it's nothing overly that great. If I had to rate it, I'd probably just give it maybe like a 5.5. 5.5 out of 10. Like I said, you know, it feels a little dated and stuff, not in a good way, but, yeah, you know, like I said, this one's also known as Cubby House in Australia, so if you see a film called Cubby House, it's this one. Yeah, I don't really know what else to say about it. There's not really a whole lot to say. But yeah, so that's going to do it for day 3, Hellion, the Devil's Playground. So, you know, one thing about the film, I do wish that there was like a little more, maybe death in the film. You know, I wish the possession had gone to that point, but it never really kind of gets to that point. That was also another little nitpick I had with the film, but, you know, it's above average, so I can loosely recommend it, and that's about it. So, anyways, guys, Hellion, the Devil's Playground, aka Cubby House. If you see it for a penny, pick it up. Alright, guys, that's going to do it for day 3 here on Aussie Horror Week. I will be back tomorrow with a fucking film that I have been just dying to talk about. So, stay tuned for that one, and I will see you guys tomorrow, hopefully. Peace out.